there, little sharks. It is the inflatable sea lion here, and today I got a new betta fish, and I also have a story time about why I actually purchased her. So I'm gonna start out with the story time. You can judge me all you want, but I just want to promise you one thing. I did not buy her to replace Canary, Scarlet, Moon, or Sushi, or anyone else. I purchased her because of the story I'm about to tell you in a little bit. So just listen up and then you'll understand me. You're gonna hate me at first and then you're gonna love me. So just listen up. Alright, so I went to Pet Supplies Plus. I was looking for a plant with like big leaves because I'm actually working on a DIY for you guys. I wanted to film that, but I unfortunately couldn't find the plant that I wanted, but it'll be here someday. So anyways, I went in Pet Supplies Plus and I went over the fish aisle. And I guess there was this grandfather with his grandson, and they were looking at the fish stuff. And there was this area with like small tanks, like 1/4 gallons, 1/2 gallons, and 1 gallons. And the grandfather, he's looking at them, and he points over to them with his grandson. His grandson was like a toddler. He was only like 3 or 4 years old. And anyways, he was just pointing over. And he says, look at these are only like $6. Like, they were like relatively cheap, but still, you just don't buy a 1/4 gallon for your fish. So he's checking them out with his grandson, and then they move over and he walks over with his grandson to like the bigger tanks, like 10 gallons, 20 gallons. And when I say bigger, there's even like 2.5 gallons and 2 gallons, like 3 gallons. They're like not all massive tanks or something. So we're looking at them, and this is exactly what he says, like quote unquote. He says, why the heck would anybody buy one of these big fish tanks? They're extremely unnecessary and they're so expensive. You don't need a tank this big for such a tiny little betta fish. And that really set me off. And I wanted to say something, but I couldn't because I was with my brother. He was already freaking out that I was making a scene. And my brother was like, the whole time you were giving him the evil eye. And he was getting mad. And I was like, I did not even notice. But anyways, they're looking at them. And after he says that, he says again, I don't know if he was hinting this at me, but he probably wasn't. But he goes, see, it's the idiots that purchase one of these big tanks. You don't need these for a small tank, and they're so expensive. He asked his grandson if he wanted a fish, and being a toddler, he of course goes, yes! And he's like, yippee! He's like so excited over getting a new fish. So he grabs the 1/4 gallon tank, quotation marks, and he grabs like a little sample size packet of flippin' Tetra tropical flakes, and then he gets a little betta fish cup. So he picked it out for his grandson, which annoyed me as well. He didn't even let the grandson choose the fish. So I was like, excuse me, honey. He just grabbed like the cheapest veil tail there. And so I'm browsing around and they leave. He checks out. And what occurred in my head was this thought process. It just hit me. I was like, almost all of these betta fish here, they're all gonna suffer in these little tiny spaces where they can't have any fun. There's no decorations, or they're jammed with decorations, giving them even less space, and they're just gonna suffer like this, and they're gonna lose their lives because of ignorant people, and it's not their fault. They're innocent, and they're sweet little creatures that don't deserve this. So I had this stupid, crazy idea. I was like, I'm gonna buy a ton of betta fish, and I'm just gonna keep them together in a sanctuary. I'm gonna rescue a bunch of betta fish. So I'm looking around to try to hoard all of the females, but there were only 2 there. And I didn't get the 2 because I didn't want to put only 2 together, obviously. So I only got the one girl. She really stood out to me. She reminded me of Scarlet. She was really spunky and she's so pretty. Can't you see her? You can see her. So I picked her out and I purchased her. She was only $3 at Pet Supplies Plus, and that is the reason why I got her. Like I mentioned previously, not to replace anyone. I got her because I was really sad and I wanted to do the Save the Bettas 2K16 challenge. So that is actually a hashtag on Instagram that is trending and so many people are doing it, which is great. So I hope this little story inspired you to help support the challenge as well. I did not come up with it, somebody else did, but it is an amazing challenge that I think everybody should do if you care about betta fish. So thanks for watching. Obviously, leave a name like I always do, because she still needs a name, and this time it's not a theme like with Siren. So thanks for watching. If you're not part of the Shark Paw already, make sure to join us by clicking subscribe, and see you, little sharks.